Ted Kaczynski was an American anarchist and domestic terrorist who was active in the early to late 1990s. Kaczynski was most commonly known by the moniker the Unabomber. His 17-year bombing campaign targeted universities, airlines, and computer stores. His bombs were designed to kill, and injured 24 people and killed 3 others. He sent out dozens of letters to the public and media, expressing his views on modern technology. In April 1996, Kaczynski mailed a 35,000-word essay to the New York Times and Washington Post. The essay, entitled Industrial Society and Its Future, outlined his anti-technology stance. In this essay, he declared that he had been driven to violence by his life experiences. After a lengthy manhunt and trial, Kaczynski pled guilty and was sentenced to life imprisonment with no possibility of parole. Kaczynski's victims included a professor of computer science, a clothing manufacturer, and a graduate student at Yale. After his capture, Kaczynski was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. His brother, David Kaczynski, recognized then unpublished passages of the Manifesto and informed the FBI. During a failed plea agreement, Kaczynski claimed that he was mentally unable to understand what he had done. Kaczynski denied his mental illness at his trial, instead blaming technology and the modern world. He believed that his bombings should serve as a warning of the dangers of allowing technology to run rampant. Kaczynski's other writings from his Montana cabin were preserved by the FBI and remain as information about his motivations. Kaczynski was known to have had a strained relationship with his father, and the FBI believed this may have played a role in his beliefs and actions. The mass media covered the hunt for the Unabomber extensively during his bombing campaign from 1978 to 1995. In addition to the bombings, Kaczynski also wrote 2 books advocating anarchy and critiquing modern society. Kaczynski was born in 1942, and his first acts of sabotage were against his high school and college in the 1960s. Kaczynski's manifesto focused on the destructive powers of science and industry, claiming they would oppress the individual. Although Kaczynski has been called a terrorist, some scholars believe he was driven by philosophical beliefs rather than a political agenda. The defense argued that the manifesto, which expressed Kaczynski's opposition to the industrial and technological society, was evidence of his mental illness. Kaczynski's defense twice failed to establish an insanity plea, but he was nevertheless diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia by 2 psychiatrists. In his later years as a terrorist, Kaczynski was known to be a recluse in a cabin in the woods of Montana near the Canada-US border.